January 24th, 2022. Coldest time of the year. I currently have only 18 colonies outside in the cold out of 152. Because of the trouble I had this winter, next winter I'm going to do things differently. Because I have this roof here, my older colonies are going to go out underneath trees, and my new colonies, they're going to be in smaller hives that get stacked underneath this roof. And I probably put a row of can lights down through here and some OSB sheeting, and I'll insulate that. Then we're going to build some insulated wall panels with 3 sheets of insulation board. I'm going to put them up against here, all the way down here to the concrete. And that will contain the cold air out. You won't have to heat it because the bees themselves generate enough heat. All these hives in here will heat this enclosure, and I will not have to worry about them freezing, and I won't have to carry them in and out because when it warms up, I'm going to remove the insulation board panels. Okay, so this is the situation. This is what I've got myself into. This room here has 2 windows, and I had window colonies in here, and in order to keep those window colonies alive, they were smaller colonies. I would heat this during the night and then try to cool it off during the day to prevent it from getting too warm with these other colonies that were in here. You know, of 152 colonies I have, 2/3 of them are brand new colonies. And the majority of them aren't large enough to handle the below 0 temperatures I have during the winter. See, only 49 colonies out of 152 are older colonies, and some of them aren't large enough to handle cold temperatures because the queen's getting older. They have other issues like toxic chemicals in the hive. So I have moved my smaller colonies down to my basement, and I've moved all my other colonies that I could move into here. So of 152 colonies, only 18 are outside. And here's my thermostat. See, it's probably around freezing in here. At night, I close up the doors a little bit because during the day, the bees want to try to get out because they see the daylight. So I open up the doors to cool it off even more than I do at night. But at night, because it's dark and they don't try to get out, I close up the doors and let it warm up a little bit. Try to prevent any losses. And I want them clustered, see? Clustered. This colony is alive. Yeah, they're alive. I had an issue with them getting too warm and they were eating too much honey, so I've lost some of my honey from the colonies being warm and eating the honey. And one colony ran out of honey, and I didn't notice it until last week, and they were already dead. So I show you my colonies down in the basement. Okay, we're in the dark now. This is my basement. I'll turn the light on real quick here. I've closed up the windows to prevent the light from coming in because even when I turned off the heating zone down in the basement, the bees are generating so much heat. You hear the difference? I just turned the light on. See how much quieter they are when they're in the dark? I really don't want them in the dark. I want them to know days are passing, but I had no choice. They're in the dark. So I turn the light on again so I can show you. You hear that? Okay. That's what the light does to them. They think they can get out because they're warm enough. They think they can fly. And here's my other stack over here. You know, somebody put a video on the other day about not worrying about losses during the winter. We have tough times coming. It's only going to get worse in this country. The more losses you can prevent, the better off you're going to be financially. Every one of these colonies here is going to produce honey from you this year. Why would I want to have a bunch of losses? You know, I can't even play with my trains right now because I got to keep it dark down here. So try to prevent your losses during the winter. You'll be further ahead because we're going to have some tough times in the future here until we get a new government. We need to overthrow the government. Our government has basically screwed us and sent all of our jobs overseas. See, I've got all my pollen substitute here ready to put in the hives, but I'm not going to put it in until we start getting a warm up here. Right now it's too cold, and until I see a warm up, I'm not going to put any pollen substitute in there because there's no point. The colony's getting bigger if we're going to have a cold February. they'll just get big for nothing, and they'll eat up all their honey. So basically, try to prevent losses during the winter, because you're going to have tough times in the future. And ignore those people on YouTube that say not to worry about having losses during the winter. And what are you going to do? You just going to sit around and have a good time during the winter and go, not worry about your bees? Does it really hurt you to worry about your bees? Does it hurt you to do stuff like what I'm doing? It didn't hurt me at all to carry these bees in here. Just get a little exercise is good for me, okay? Thank you.